Welcome to You Are Not Alone. This is a safe place to explore all things spiritual and beyond. I am spiritual medium Erica Gabriel. Hello, friends. Welcome back to You Are Not Alone. How is everyone? How are you guys doing? How's life? How is your path going? How is finding your purpose going? How is finding your way going? Aren't we just all in this together? I always think about that. Like what I just said, everyone is responding to in their minds right now. Everyone is answering those questions. How are you doing? How's life? How's your path going? How's it going following your purpose? How's it going finding your way to your purpose? Like every single person on the planet has answers to those questions. You know what I mean? Or has thoughts when those questions are asked. I mean, we are so in this together. You guys are so in this together and with me and with you and with each other. So many of you are listening to this podcast. Please keep sharing it, guys. Just send the link to other people that want to, you think would like the podcast. Please make sure go on Apple or wherever you get your podcast and rate this podcast. You can click the stars, you can leave a quick review. I would just so appreciate it, because what happens is more people then want to listen. And the whole point of this podcast is just spreading these messages of positivity, of self-empowerment, of spirituality, of love, of light, and also spreading messages of mind expansion, right? So many times, like maybe I say something or I bring up something that you're like, that does not vibe with me. And that's good too, because it means that your mind is expanding and thinking about things. So that's kind of why I'm here and what I'm doing. And this community is so awesome and so supportive. Like, this is just a very, very special community. And I've talked about it on here before, and just still churning for me to get this community together. Do a live podcast. You know what I mean? Invite you guys all to come. Do a live podcast, answer questions. So this is churning in my mind. A lot of people you see have teams, right? Like people that maybe we follow, or people that we listen to, spiritual teachers or spiritual, authors or whatever. They have teams, huge teams. They've got, a PR team, they've got a writing team, they've got like event planning teams, they've got whole like network, right? And for me, every single thing you see me do, this podcast, every single reading, every single event, every single course, that is all just me. Right. And that's not like gassing me up at all. But that is just saying, I've talked about doing events, right? Doing events for you guys. And it's just like, okay, she's talked about this before. Why isn't she doing it? Maybe she's just scared or lazy or something like that. And it's not. It's just focus and timing and things like that. But things are churning, things are brewing. And I want to meet you all and I want to see you all. So if you can continue to spread this podcast, that is all I ask as of now, to spread it. I don't have PR anymore, which is very positive thing, not negative. But just things like that. So you guys are, part of this community. So thank you for sharing. So that's why I have started out the podcast with that recently. Because I realized I was like putting it in at the very end, and I'm kind of like, well, wait a minute. This is our community. These are my friends. We got to keep going. I need to let them know. And you guys know to follow me at Spiritual Medium Erica. And you can always email me info@ericagabriel.com. So that being said, this is our timeline podcast. Timelines. Oh my gosh. Sometimes when I cover big topics like this and big subjects, before I hit record, I'm not nervous to record, as you guys know. Duh. But I just want to make sure that I honor it and the topic to my highest ability. So that's where any kind of nervousness comes from for me. I'm like, this is so big. This can serve so many people. Like, I align with my guides. Thank you for assisting me in using your words. Thank you for assisting me in being an open and available channel to this information. Thank you for assisting me and showing me the path that will resonate with the most amount of people, showing me the path to utilizing the words that will make the most sense. right? I'm very, very interested in how people speak. I have this weird thing of like how they speak, how they talk. If I feel they're clear, like I just have a thing about speaking. I know that sounds like, yeah, so does everyone, but I can't explain it. So, like, I'll hear someone talk and I'll be like, wow, I literally disagree with 99% of what that fucking person just said, but I love how they communicate. It's people like there's a woman who's on a different ideology or political ideology than me. And I don't agree with, I would say 80% of what she says or whatever. But when she talks, I'm like, this woman is amazing. If I ever want someone on my team, I want this woman. She's incredible. I don't believe in the things she's saying and I don't agree with her, but God, she's amazing because I like how she speaks. I like her voice. I like her words. I like her intonations. I like how clear she's very crystal clear. So, my intention a lot of times before the podcast is that I'm able to communicate in a clear way that speaks to the highest number of people. So, this podcast about timelines, I really am thinking about that is just to be able to speak about this topic in a way that is resonant with everyone that's listening to it, right? And that the way that my guides convey it and that I convey it will really serve you because it's so big. So here's the thing with timelines. This also happens. I did we talk about this last week? I don't remember. I don't remember. Um, oh, the other thing too that I want to say is like I also ask for assistance in speaking about it, how I process it as Erica as well, because you guys know I never come at you like from an elevated state because I'm not at an elevated state in any way. That's why I always say like we're all in this together. Like I want to make sure that I convey this in a way that you're like she gets it because she's like where we are. She's understanding it and putting it away that kind of relates to our actual lives, not like some ideal of like what our spiritual life should look like. You know what I mean? And I know you guys feel that because you write me and you're like, I like listening to you because I get what you're saying and you fucking curse and like you seem kind of normal. um, so here's what happens for me. And I think we may have talked about this last week. So if this is repetitive, I apologize. But I feel like and what I've noticed and what I see and recognize in my I don't know if you can call what I do my practice, my business, my life, that there are themes. There are themes that excuse me. So like for a long time, the theme will be all about angels. I see angels more in readings. When I'm working with my guides, they're talking a lot about angels. There will be a lot of focus on the angel realm, or I will really just have a slew where it's all about people finding their life purpose. And then I create a course about that. But all people just like finding your life's purpose and your life's path is like why you're here. And it's just the whole theme. It's like, this is it, Erica. It's all about purpose. And I'm like, yes, let's talk about it. Let's make a course about it. It's all about finding our purpose, why we're here, why we chose to come to Earth during this time in humanity and in reality, right? In this reality and it'll be all about that. And then there'll be a theme where it's like the whole thing is just about quieting the mind. That's it. That's the secret to life. Quiet your mind and you'll connect to God. And then you'll see how everything is connected. And that light and love is the only thing that's real. And acceptance and forgiveness. And that's what's real. And we're all just walking each other home anyway. We're all going to die anyway. This is just a moment in our soul's evolvement. So quiet so you can connect with the divine, right? And then you can figure out why you're here. But that's part of it. But it will be big themes. And right now, my guides are like, all that matters while you're here is timelines. I'm like, okay. Again, they don't say all that matters, but they'll just really drive home something for me in my mind to really flesh out and to understand. And they'll focus on that. And this has been going on for my whole life. and also the past 17 years that I've been doing readings professionally. So when I first started, the whole focus was on like ghosts and dark energy because I had to move through that, people. I had to move through that so that I could do what I'm doing now. Right. I just lost my freaking mind and was scared beyond scared. But I had to go through that. And that was the whole theme. So now when someone is like, hey, my house is haunted or whatever, I'm like, I got you, boo. I'm not afraid. Let's do this. Let's talk about it. Right. I still get scared sometimes though. Oh my God. There's one house that is like the most fucking haunted house I've ever heard about or ever been to in my entire fucking life. It's not psycho, but like it's crazy to the point where there are rooms that I'm like, that room is not for me. I can't go in that room. No, 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 no. That room doesn't want me. Bye. Like literally can't walk into certain rooms in that house. But anyway, I digress. I lose focus. Here I am. Okay, let's go. So anyway, so right now, my guides are like, focus on timelines. Okay. I think that when my guides tell me to focus on something, it's not only for me, but it's also for me to dig deeper in so that I can explain it to you or a client, right? Or whoever. But I'm just saying, it's like, go in here because this is what will serve people the most. Focus on timelines. This is what the collective consciousness needs at this time from you. Timelines, right? Or angels or whatever it may be. So I've been delving into timelines. I wanted to just kind of tell you a little bit about what's been going on with them, what they mean, and just put this out there, food for thought, right? So timelines, the way I see it, are like if you picture yourself and you see millions or thousands or whatever, infinite amount of like little lines coming off you, like lines that go from you out, you out, you out, you out, infinite lines, invisible lines. Those are infinite timelines that you could go on and that your human self could take in this life. Infinite timelines. You jump on different timelines all the time. We are at crossroads often, sliding glass doors often. There are many, many different timelines. And then we ask, but what about destiny? Yes, destiny is real. We are destined to meet certain people. We are destined to be in a certain kind of job. We are destined to bring through a certain soul, our child, or, um, whatever, right? We're destined for certain things. And those things are pretty much immovable. Although I have seen people bypass destiny. Okay. And I know that's like, how is that possible? It is because we have free will. We can do what we want to do. We are constantly faced with different, choices and timelines, right? So, like, I've seen people, unfortunately, that died by suicide and, they were actually meant to be healers. One person I'm thinking of in particular, she was actually supposed to be a physician and really help a lot of people, but her soul just could not stick, could not keep it, just couldn't keep it. And she left. So that wasn't actually the prescribed destiny for her soul in this life, but we have free will. And does she go to spirit and get tortured and punished? No, no. She examines it and looks at it and decides if she wants to come back again. There's no punishment like you're going to have to do this all over again. Your karma's fucked. And like, it's just not like that from my understanding. Okay. So I'm going to keep saying that from my understanding. I don't like when people are like, this is how it is. This is ultimate truth. Like, I'm like, how the fuck do you know? People think so many different things and have so many different realities and so many different timelines that they're on, so many different religions. Don't tell people this is fact. Present people with an idea and they choose to do what they want. Don't force anyone else to believe or understand what you want them to understand. Right? Okay, so timeline. So you've got all of these lines, all of these different timelines that you can go on. And for me, that sounds really like daunting. Like, oh my God, like, boy, these are a lot of like all of a sudden every decision I make feels really big. Like, okay, so if I don't go to that dinner, do I jump on a different timeline? I mean, honestly, maybe, maybe, but like it's okay. And your timelines do right themselves. And you do have certain things in your destiny that will be in all timelines. I believe my husband was in all timelines. There are things that are in all timelines. Can you still miss them and kind of curve around them? Sure. So it sounds very daunting, like, oh my God, right? This is like so intense. Like every second I could jump on a different timeline. But instead of going down that dark rabbit hole that will only blow our minds and make us feel terrible, instead of doing that timeline, or excuse me, that mindset, what if we think like, oh my God, this is amazing because I'm on a timeline I don't fucking want to be on. And it means there's another one and another one and another one and another one that I can go on. I can jump on a different timeline and move things in a different direction. I am that powerful. And then our egos go, but how? But how? But when? But what? Right? And we start like freaking ourselves out. I don't know how to do that. And it's like, of course you don't. Right? And that's okay. But that's part of the lesson. How do I free my mind in a way and listen to my intuition in a way and connect with God in a way that reveals to me a timeline of my choosing? And then also reveals to me how to align with that in my life. How do I align with that timeline? Right. And I do that by connecting with self, connecting with God, visualizing the timeline, seeing it, believing it, feeling good about it. And then I start moving my life towards it. Last week, we talked about fast forward. If you see a timeline you like, call it in. Let's fast forward this shit. I'm ready. I heard Eckhart Tolle. I don't know much about him. He wrote a book, Conversations with God. And I heard like a quick talk that he did, or a part of a talk that he did, where he was like in a church and he was praying to God. And he was like, God, I know my path, I know my destiny, but move faster, please. Move faster, please. And he kept repeating it in his mind, asking God to like help him move faster. I might be butchering the exact details of the story, but this is the general idea. And then things started moving faster. So that's what we talked about last week about fast forward. But same thing here. You use last week fast forward and use this week timeline to bring them together so that you can really visualize how to do this. So I want you to also use this visual. You're on a train and you're going fast, right? You are going fast on this timeline. You know, this is what your work looks like. This is what this looks like. This is what that looks like. And you're on fucking board, dude. Like your mind may be saying, I don't like this. I don't want this, but you are on board. You are absolutely on board because you're not doing anything to move off that timeline, right? So you're on board. You say you're not, you don't like it, but you are, and it's moving fast. And the idea with timeline jumping is literally getting off the train and saying, I see that timeline, but I need to stop and get off the train. And so now you're in the station, and the station has a million other trains. And then you start panicking. I'm just going to go back to that timeline. I'm just going back on that train. And your past starts calling you back. You know what I'm like. Come back to me. Right. And you're in the train station. You're like, no, I know what that timeline looks like. It wasn't serving me. So I'm going to go to the station and I'm going to get on another train. And then our ego starts to freak the fuck out. I don't believe that there's another train. I don't believe that I can get on another train. I don't believe I have enough money to get on another train. I don't believe I'm smart enough to get on another train. I don't believe I'm young enough. I don't believe all the things. And so, what you have to do in that station is find what it is that cools all of that chaos down and allow yourself the luxury of dreaming and imagining and creating and finding joy in thinking about it. Now, does this mean you're blowing up your life? Absolutely not. Does this mean that that train that you were on is all shit? Absolutely not. You don't have to use this with every single area of your life. You can think about this like maybe you're thinking about this with career, or maybe you're thinking about this with love. Like, oh my God, I'm on this trajectory with this person and like it's just not right. You know what I mean? So use this in ways that resonate with you in a positive way, not thinking I got to get off this whole timeline of my life and this is shit, right? That's very rare. The idea is to appreciate, okay, I'm on this timeline, but I am going to love myself enough to take a minute to think about creating another one. There are lots of choices, and that's why daily habits are so important and a daily routine is so important because every day you have to wake up and choose what timeline you're working towards. What does it look like? I just had a situation like this. So the timeline that I have right now that I'm just jumping on is speaking engagements, talking, speaking engagements, leading groups, retreats, things like that, and really becoming more accessible, more visible, and working with groups. Right, not doing reading events where I'm, connecting with loved ones who crossed over, continuing that in my practice, that one-on-one, but really getting with groups, like doing what I'm doing right now, but with an incredible, over an incredible weekend, right? Or, doing it with a large group about their intuition. So it's more speaking, more teaching and connecting in that way. And I am like so on this timeline, so great. I have an event coming up that I'm doing. It's small, so I couldn't invite all of you guys. It's only a 35-person event, but it's a speaking event. It's going to be really fucking cool. Hopefully, I'm going to get a lot of pictures of that, so I'll show you guys. But the idea is, that is what my timeline is moving towards. And I used to do group reading events and I don't do them anymore, like large ones. You know what I mean? I've read for 100 people and done that. It's just not where my heart lies at this time. And I get a call. It was actually an email that someone wrote me, was like, "Hey, I want to do a whole group reading around you, 50 plus people, this really, really cool idea, really great person, like nothing negative on them." And it was like, I felt my old timeline calling me back and I'm just switching timelines. So it's really getting to that place of like, is this another great opportunity that is on this timeline, or is that one from a past timeline that I am saying to the universe that I want to move on from? You know what I mean? And it's also interesting for me because if there's, 50, 60, 70 people that really, really want to engage in this sacred place of having a reading, I don't want to let them down. I want to connect with people. This is not like misery to me to go do a group event, but it's just different than what I have my sights on at this time and what my timeline is looking like. So you're going to get confusion. You're going to get like, is this calling me back to the past? Or is this something that I just said, I want to do group events and here you have this huge event. Why don't you turn it into the event that is desirable to you? You have to kind of look at the thread of this timeline that you want to be on and see how you can move things in that direction. But at the end of the day, you are not stuck. We are on a rock that's hurling through space, spinning and hurling through space right now in an infinite universe. This is fucking wild. This is amazing. And we don't think that there's other possibilities for us. Like, what is happening? We're caught in a trap of this illusion of this trapped life. We are not stuck. We are not trapped. There's infinite possibilities for us. You have to be brave enough to see and explore and experiment and dream and be excited about what they may be. So many times we get stuck on our timeline from fear, imposter syndrome, disbelief, right? Get yourself on a different timeline. I was just talking to someone about this. They're in a relationship and it's like, let's play out that timeline. What does that look like? Is that the timeline you want to be on? And if it's yes, you have your answer about this relationship. And most of the time, people know the answer, but they're just scared because they don't believe that the other timeline is going to be what they want. They're like, okay, well, I know what this one's going to look like, and it's fine, but it's not exactly what I really want. And I don't feel great about this timeline. But how do I know that there's a timeline that actually has someone else on it? Like, this is like about love, right? So it's like, What if I say I don't want this timeline and I want to go on another timeline, but how do I know that there's going to be another partner on those lines? It's like, because that's the timeline you're going to jump on. You're not jumping on a loveless timeline, right? I mean, this is everything. This is manifestation. This is trust in yourself. This is trust in God. This is belief in the universe. This is law of attraction. This is quantum physics. Like, this is literally everything. It's just so funny because every time my guides are like, and this is everything. And then there'll be something next month and I'll be like, and this is everything. But point is I want you to think about things in terms of timelines. And you can, again, stay on a train, but adjust parts of that timeline, parts of that train, get off it anyway, and stick with the things that are working, but timeline yourself on a different kind of line that has other things that you do want. You are that powerful. You are that amazing. The world is abundant. The universe is abundant. There is enough for everyone, including you and including me. I know I'm going to get off this podcast and be like, shit, I didn't talk about this. Shit, I forgot this. So if there's things that I forgot, or if there's questions you guys have about timelines, just write me and I can always bring it up next podcast. But I want you just think about this. This is like enough for now. Just let this kind of marinate a little bit and think about it. Think about what you want your timeline to look like, because they're infinite. They're infinite. Okay, that's it. Love you guys. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, your week, your month, your year, whenever you choose to listen to this again. Um, Really, just thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing the podcast. Thanks for following me. Thank you for everything. I love you so much. Thanks for being this incredible powerhouse community. If you take nothing away from this podcast, please take with you that you are not alone. God bless, guys. More to come. Take good care. Talk soon.